Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video I'm gonna show you how to work around XML files using Visual C#. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is to create a new project. So I'm gonna go in there, select Windows Form Applications and just name it as the XML file project. Now once this is created, what I'm going to do in here is to basically create an XML file. Now you can name the file as you create it. You can simply give it a name or just create the file a specific name just when you click on a button or something. So I'm going to create a button in here. Let's just put it into a group box as well so that we don't have to modify each and every button separately. I'm just going to create a group box and put the button inside and name the group box as XML features. And maybe change the font size as well, so select a bigger font. Bold 16. Now when we have done this, we can also select the button property and name it as create XML file. At this point you've got to decide on what kind of interface you want to use. Basically you can use a form to create the XML file name. For this example I'm just going to use a specific name for my file, and maybe later on you can use some additional code to edit it. The other important thing before I start coding is to give my button's name. So I'm just going to name this as button create XML. So going back to my form now, I'm going to double click on it and write the XML create process. Now to create an XML file, we're going to use a class called XML document. So I'm going to type XML document here, and as you type this, we're going to create a new XML document. So that should be XML document. Now when you create this one, you must import certain statements, or otherwise, as you can see, this is not going to be recognized. So you can use the system XML to recognize the XML document. And the same goes for here. Make sure that this is recognized, and we're going to create a new one. This should be new, so make sure to create a new one. And once we have created our XML document using the document, we're going to load the XML file itself. So this will allow certain commands to exist in your XML file. So load XML will actually gonna create the XML creation process. Now XML file is very much like an HTML file, and what it does is that you can simply type codes inside, and that code is, rather than using ready tags of HTML5, you kind of like create your own tags to structure the data. The big difference between HTML and XML is HTML is used for showing data, displaying data, where XML is used for structuring the data. So every XML file has a root. In this case, our root itself is the student list, as I want to list a couple of students here. And as I type this, I'm going to close the root documentation. In this case, each time you open a tag, in this case student list, we need to close it. We need to make sure that this will be closed. And every time that I type this, it will be inside a quotation mark, like that, to make sure that this works. And I'm going to put semicolon at the end. Now currently I create an XML document with only student list, but it doesn't have anything inside, so we need to type the statements that can go inside this items basically that can go inside the student list. Our items are students, So each time we're gonna type something, we must make sure that we basically type a new student here. So I'm gonna type student, making sure that this is a new entry, and each time, let me just make it small, yeah. Each time I type something, I'm gonna make sure that information is being added inside student. So coming in there, we'll have to make sure that this is also closed. So slash student, and make sure to add the plus, so this will be added. Now we have a student, but its information is missing. So student list is the generic list, and each student will be added inside as with the student tag. Now each student should have a student number, so we can type it student no, and you can give it basically a number should you want to. You can type a number in here and keep it there. Let's type 1 as a static number, and I'm going to put student number in here. Once student number is done, we're going to type more components, such as we can type student name. I'm going to type my name here. Whoops, I'm going to take it back. Yes, my name and student name. Make sure that these are in quotation marks, because basically everything we type here is a string 1. And I'm gonna type one more. Let me just copy paste this, and I'm just gonna type surname. So there should be surname here, my name, my surname. Now if you want to create more students on the top of the existing one, all you have to do is to copy this data with the student and add on the top of it. So you can come in there, just leave some blank space so the data will be more readable, and just copy paste it. So each time you basically copy a student, it actually adds a new student, and now you can go ahead and change the data. You can make this data dynamic, or you can just keep it static. It's up to you. For this purpose, because I didn't take any dynamic data from a text box or a field, I just type static entries inside. But technically all these entries that you type inside, such as Mark, Oliver, or my name, they could be dynamic data as well. Once you have loaded the XML, once this structure is done, we need to pass into a stage where we can save the document to a file and auto indent the output. Now to save the file, let's just put a comment here. Save the file, we need to use certain commands. The XML text writer is the main one, so you can basically come in here, say that using XML text writer, and we can define a new writer. Now when you type this, you need to basically define a location for your XML data to be used, or otherwise the computer wouldn't know where to save all this data. So to save the data itself, we will have to define a specific location. Now I basically save this under documents. I'm gonna go into the document section and find the Visual Studio, and under the Visual Studio I need to find the projects. Actually I can use the project folder in here, so we can go to the properties, and hopefully it will show us where the file is saved. XML project. Search Solution Explorer. Open folder in the File Explorer. So this is the location. So user, this user, my name, source, repos, and XML file. So what I want to do in here is that I want to save it to a location the same as my folder, so it will be accessible to me. What I could do in here is that I would basically go back again and put it into here. So I can create an add in there inside the XML. Let's put an add symbol, and using the add symbol we need to define a pathway to save the file itself. So we can say that go back, again, and just gonna name it as my name. Well, let's just call it students.xml. Now to make sure that this one would work for us, we're gonna pass the XML writer null component here. You just don't need to worry about this right now. We'll just make sure that this is there for now, and we wouldn't really worry about it. So once we have done this, we need to make sure to create the format to write the file into the writer. So this should be also new writer. When we create a new object, we need to put new and make sure to put the new writer there. We also have a bracket error, I think, so this one should be at XML, and this should be inside rather than outside. So I need to make sure that my code is fixed. Yes, now it works okay. So going down, we need to make sure to format this writer format. This will allow to format without any spaces that you left. Formatting, send it, and now you can save the document. Using the same button, you can write into the document itself. This will be done through writer. If you want to show a message just after the write process, you can also display a message box and show XML file is saved successfully. And we're gonna save this. So let's just run the application to see how this is going to run. We see that we have no errors, so I'm going to debug and run it, and the features are running, so I need to make sure that this is also there. So I'm going to run this file, create XML, and I get an error. Student surname start tag on line 1 does not match with the end one, so we have a tag problem. Yes, in here you see I created a student surname, but it's not really closing with the same one, so I need to stop this application, make sure that this is surname as well. A good thing that it actually reads the surname so that we can know where we made the mistake. So we have the name, we have the surname, we have the number, name, name again, and surname. So hopefully this time it should work. So let's build the application once again, and running the code now, pressing on XML, and now that we don't have an error, I fixed all the errors. It says XML file is saved successfully. So we can now go and check out the specific folder, and you can see that there's a student XML in there, as you can see, and it is created inside your folder. You can also create it in here. If you leave just one slash less, you can see that it might be created in there. But before we do that, we can go and open the content. You can open it with Notepad should you want to, and you can see that the XML command, the XML statements that we wrote, are displayed there. So I'm gonna do a change now, erase this part, erase this document, and I'm just gonna put one slash just to see where it saves it. Go back just to discover the location. Originally it is saved, so I'm just gonna put in here. So whenever I press on the XML, let's see where it saved it now. So it's no longer there, you can see it. It's actually inside bin. So this time it's actually inside bin. So if you want to take it to again to original location, we need to leave 2 spaces, 1 back, and if you do it 1 back again, it will actually save it there. So let's do that. So I'm gonna go up, down, and do it twice. Oops, the code is still running, so let me just stop it. So gonna go do this and do this again, and this time it will save it to the project location. So let's just run this thing once again and create the XML file. It says the file is saved successfully, and when I open it I can see the XML file is recorded in there. So we can open it now and you can see its content. So this is how you can create XML files. In the next video I'm gonna show you how you can manipulate this file, such as how you can add new data on it, how you can show the content of the file, how you can delete, update, and even add more data. So I'll see you guys in the next video.